Coming up on the next episode of the Celsius Pod.
Here's the thing. Bible lore is really awesome.
Yeah.
I do think the lore goes really deep.
Which one do I take to college? The one I've owned for all my life, or the one that took his spot?
I don't want to play with you anymore.
The recipe comes from inside you. You gotta make it your own.
Wow. You gotta not follow the directions and make it inconsistently, so that way your customers have different varying levels of good food.
Guys, a momentous occasion.
I have no idea what number episode this is.
2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
123.
123. Oh, okay.
123.
I
The
understand.
weather. No, we won't get to the state.
So you've been doing this
another-
bit for the last 4 weeks, and I still don't get it at all.
Okay, guys.
It's numbers, bro. Do you not know the numbers?
The next time it happens will be in 1,300 episodes.
What is it? What is it?
What
the
is
next
it,
time it
Beck?
goes in numerical order, because we had 1, then we had 12, which is 1, 2. Now we have 1, 2, 3, and then 1,
Back
2,
1,
3,
2,
4.
4. 1, 2, 4 is still numerical order.
No,
One
I
second,
mean
guys.
I
gotta take this
by
call.
1 numerical order.
Beck, I can guarantee you in 1,000 episodes, we will all be dead by then.
No, okay. Because think about it, 1,000 episodes is only
Think about
40 years.
I know.
We're all dead in 40 years?
Yeah. It'll be a tragic 2 murder-suicides.
Please.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's 57.
But you have to subscribe to find out who kills who.
Yeah, find out who dies first.
Definitely
I'm
the
the
bottom
Ringo
half
of-
killing the top half.
I'm the Ringo of the group, just so we're clear
from
before
Jojo?
we...
Guys, imagine
That's
if they
your
did a
man's
Beatles movie, a Beatles movie thing for Imagine Dragons. Wouldn't that be great?
Bro,
Whoa.
we could do that.
No.
Imagine
please, no.
imagine a Beatles movie thing, but for Weezer, and it has Keanu Reeves,
That
and
would
it's
be
like some
awesome,
sort of
though.
parody movie.
That would be
Except, like,
awesome. I love Weezer.
Something
Except-
like Spinal Tap or the Weird Al Yankovic story, something like that.
I
Except
love
Aiden,
Weezer.
it's
That
not-
does look like
It's not a Beatles thing, Aiden. It's not 4 movies about each member. It's just 1 movie.
yeah, no, it's
Okay.
one movie, but it's gonna
Yeah,
be
but
so
that is
fire.
still it is a thing, which is very cool.
We
very
need more
funny.
documentaries.
What could that possibly be, I wonder? It must be like...
Awesome.
It sounds like the best movie ever.
They
Keanu
should
Reeves
play
as-
yeah.
Buddy Holly 20 times.
I really hope they do.
I assume they're gonna go for something like a Weird Al type of movie, type of thing.
That's what
like,
they said they would
They
do.
literally
Yeah.
said in the tweet.
This guy's a real thinker, isn't he?
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
I think it just makes sense to go for something very absurd and like for
Mhm.
at least for the band that Weezer is, it makes sense. I wonder what the story could possibly be.
The
Like,
story's gonna be the founding of Weezer.
yeah. Does anyone know the founding of Weezer?
I kind of do.
I
not
think they all
100%.
turned blue.
I
they
think
all turned
it was
blue.
like that penguin from Toy Story 2 had like 4 kids who were brothers.
That I don't think that's right. I don't think
That
Weezy
sounds-
did that.
I think that sounds right to
Well,
me.
speaking of Toy Story 2, I watched Toy Story 2 and 3.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
you rewatched Toy
I'm
Story 2 and 3. I did.
amazing at these transitions.
Yeah,
I
Beck,
rewatched
we all
Toy
know.
Story 2 and 3. I didn't watch 1. We just felt my friends were going to watch the second one, but they were like,
Mhm.
second one's so good, let's watch the third one. And the third one is
Yeah.
the best Pixar movie of all time.
I disagree.
Thank you, Uri. Thank you.
Wait, of
Thank you.
all
man. Do you
time,
see?
though.
You see that bullshit? You see that over there? I agree with you, Uri. Yes, thank you.
Beck, it's just you can't defeat Toy Story. It's
Okay,
the
but
best.
Cars 2.
No.
Literally.
We're
literally.
not saying Cars 2.
I
bro.
swear to
Ratatouille.
God,
We're
for our
not
next 4
saying
movies,
Cars
I'm
2.
putting on Cars 2.
You know what's
What
a
about
fucked up
everybody's
thing?
favorite movie of all time, The Good Dinosaur?
You know what's a
I
really
keep forgetting that one's Pixar. I always
Yeah.
You know what's a
think it's
fucked up
Disney.
thing I've been hearing at college? People are at film school, they're revitalizing. You know what? They keep saying, actually, Cars 2 was good. What
it
is-
was good though.
It's not
Am
good.
I- It was.
It's not
Ernie,
good.
Cars 2 is genuinely a good movie.
It's not
It
a good
is
movie. It's not a good
Genuinely
movie.
So entertaining.
What is this fucking brainwashing?
Okay, but here's the thing. There's also is Monsters Inc., Monsters University, Cars, Ratatouille, Incredibles, Wall-E. Like all of these, I feel like
Cars 2 is not on the same level as Wall-E. What
Cars
the fuck
2
are we
is
sa-
actually the
What
greatest
the
film
fuck are we saying, Aiden?
all time. Of
Aiden,
all
as the
time.
Pixar guy, what do you say?
Hands down, there is no better film ever made in the history of mankind.
As the
every-
guy
on
As the
every
guy
level.
that owns the main cast of Toy Story 3, I think that Toy Story 3 is the best Pixar
on
movie.
everyone's soul except
That's
for
my
mine.
opinion.
Toy Story 2.
Or mine.
On everyone's soul except for mine. Cars
Except
2
for mine
is the
also.
greatest film of all time.
I believe Cars 2 was my favorite movie for like 7 straight years. Like if you were asking
And you're
like
dumb.
my favorite movie
And you're
of
quite
all
frankly
time,
dumb about
It's
that.
it
so
was like
peak.
from
Have
when
you
it
seen
released to like
Francesco?
7 years later.
Have you
Beck-
seen the international spy thriller? Bro,
Beck,
it's
you
the
also-
all in all.
Beck, what the fuck? You used to shit your pants as a child. What are we saying here? That when you were young, things were different? Okay. What are we saying
I'm
here?
just saying it's a peak movie.
It's not a
It's a
peak movie.
peak
It's
movie.
stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid.
He's having a mental breakdown.
No, I'm good. But Toy Story 2 actually, because I think that's the overlooked one in the Toy Story trilogy, the original trilogy. But still, pretty good. I
You-
mean,
2 is the one that people say is the best.
really? I thought
If it's
one.
not, it's 2. People like 2 a lot more than the other ones.
But the thing is, Stinky Pete is just like a bad version of Lotso.
Yeah. And can I have a hot take real quick?
So.
Hot take. I'm not like the hugest Lotso fan. Like I like him a lot.
Really? I like.
I
Lotso.
like him as he's a great villain, but he's definitely not my favorite Pixar villain.
Well, no, but I do think he's the best Toy Story villain.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
because the thing is,
But even then, he's
when
not
you
like
think-
he's not like one of my favorites.
I think that's fair because when you think about it, Sid, just as a concept for the first Toy Story movie, it works
It's cool.
amazing.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, he's not really a villain. He's just a
tormented
kid
a
playing
random
with
kid.
toys.
Yeah. They did Loki just torment a random kid.
The second one,
Same with Al, except for the part where he stole a kid's toy. That was weird. Why the fuck did you do that?
From just like a
yeah.
random ass garage sale.
But like, reasonably, he's just a normal guy. That's like, hey, I'm gonna get $1 million billion.
$1 million.
Al is just a loser who never could grow up. He works as a chicken. So let's think about him. Stinky Pete is just like kind of a weak version of Lotso. Like, oh, he was like sort of traumatized and stuff like that. I don't know, just like I felt very sort of I don't feel there's much going on with him. Also, I forgot there was such a stark difference in the animation between 2 and 3. It's crazy.
Yeah, it like 8-year difference.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it came out. Toy Story 3 came out when we were 5. So around like
Yeah,
Bonnie's.
I
age
remember.
and stuff.
I saw it in theaters.
I remember I also saw it in theaters, and
Yeah.
like when I went with my mom, she was like, "They're not gonna make a 4th one," and then they made a 4th one, and I laughed loudly because
And then they made a.
They're going to make a
fifth
fifth one. Actually, it's recorded.
Yeah,
Tom
apparently-
Hanks.
Apparently, it's about Jesse
That's kind of interesting, but I don't
because
know.
that's what Toy Story 2 is. I
Yeah.
thought we did Jesse already, quite frankly, and she's not that strong of a character to carry it on her
No.
own. I don't think.
I feel like I really
Ultimately-
want them to do a sequel to Cars 2. I feel like that'd be really good because I
That's
feel
just
like
Cars 3 back.
Cars 2
no,
all
because
again.
Cars 3 cut out everything from Cars 2.
That
all
is
of like
true.
the spy characters and the Italian F1 cars.
Beck, I'm back.
Yeah.
I think I just got to mute you for this conversation. Continuing.
I mean,
But
he's
no,
not wrong.
But I think Buzz has the best story in 1. Because the Buzz story in 1 just works well. In the other movies, it doesn't work as well. And the stories for Buzz, I think. It's kind
No,
of
that's
just
true.
like,
That's true.
it's just like Buzz. They just make Buzz like either it's like he's another person a different Buzz swaps out the regular Buzz is his basically like
Yeah.
storyline 2 and 3. Like the other Buzz just takes over, and then third one it's Spanish Buzz, or like
And then
like evil
4 is
Buzz
just
again.
weird.
What was 4 Buzz?
Is internal
Is-
buzz, internal speaking buzz.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so he's become in the last 3 ones. He's become kind of a weak character. Woody, always pretty great, solid character. Woody, he's our classic guy. We love Woody. You have Woody actually back there?
They're all back there. All of them are back there. Do you want me to grab him?
Yeah, I want to see Woody.
Okay. Do you want any others while I'm back here?
Buzz.
Buzz, okay.
Aldrin?
No. Okay,
Who's
so
named
you gotta,
after?
Aiden, you have to do the Andy thing when you look at the toys. Like,
Why is Beck like lounged out in the bottom of his chair? I just
He's
noticed.
figured it out. Which one do I take to college? The one I've owned for all my life, or the one that took his
I
spot?
don't want to play with you anymore.
well, to be fair, Buzz has he's owned Buzz for a long time by this point.
Aiden,
No,
which
I know,
one
no,
are you
he's on
taking
Buzz
to
for long.
college?
He takes both.
He's
This
taking
one has
everything
karate
to
chop
college.
action, bro.
That is true. You could
But
be a little
realistically,
careful, though.
guys, how many times do you think the toys?
I think I
the
had that
toys-
exact one. I'm not even kidding. And nowadays, it's like completely destroyed.
These are,
I
I mean,
feel-
these are the new ones.
I
so.
feel like they would be a little bit smaller.
In real life?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
they're
think so.
they're huge. Okay, hold on, let me grab Bullseye, bro.
Oh yeah, the bullseye one. As someone who had to carry it across the state of California, it's very big.
That's
Here's
huge.
Jesse. Here's Bullseye. No, he's ginormous.
Well, her legs are just.
Ginormous, bro. This is a big fucking horse.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, this makes sense for your sizing, and then like, big horse. I don't know.
Big horse.
I feel like the aliens, as I'm sitting back there, they would be a little bit smaller.
I'll grab them. Hold on, I'll grab
like,
fucking everyone.
We're doing it-
We're
This is
doing
a Toy
Aiden
Story
toy
episode.
review. Aiden toy review.
We got the
Yeah, I
aliens.
agree.
The aliens are cool. I like
They-
these guys.
Do they squish or no?
They don't squish. I actually got scammed out of money. I'll talk about that.
Does one of them still have the ball in it?
Yes, it does rattle for some reason.
Okay. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. These are, I think,
This
these are
one
the
rattles.
Ooh. Mr. and Mrs.
This one
Potato,
rattles for some reason.
Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. They look accurate. They look good.
Yeah, because you can't really
Yeah.
mess them up. I don't know how you
can
would
you like
mess
take
them
it
up.
apart, or is it just a figure?
Why would I can't pull that one out. That one's really stuck in there.
But you can take them out. Okay.
Yeah, because they're potato heads, but they're like
Yeah.
these are the ones that Disney specifically produces because Potato Head is a copyrighted name.
You know what's crazy? That Mrs. Potato Head just has like a huge role in the third one after being kind of like sidelined for the second one.
Second one, yeah.
Because she's only introduced in the end of the first one. And
Yeah, she's
it's crazy how
introduced in the end of the first one.
she becomes like a prophet sort of character in that one with her eye thing.
I really like it. It's really a creative use of like the Potato Head logic.
Yeah.
Well, those ones. Let me grab the other three.
Okay.
I'm like grabbing them in the groups that I feel like there's like the main four is like Jesse, Buzz, Woody, and Bullseye, and then there's like the Potato Head family, and then there's like the other three.
Yeah. Do
No.
you still do you have any of the Bonnie's toys or no?
Those don't exist.
Really?
You can't buy. Those don't exist.
It's been like
tried
10
looking for
years.
them.
It's been like 10
Yeah.
years.
None of those exist as actual toys you can buy. I think minus the Totoro one because that's just a real thing. No, but like Dolly, Trixie, Buttercup, Prickle Pants, the Peas, I can't find any of those. And if I did, they're like $100, and I don't want to deal with that. So
Can you get Lotso?
I might get Lotso, and I might get Barbie.
Ooh, and
Maybe Ken, but Barbie's like one of Sally's toys. So it's
But-
like I don't know. if
wait,
that's-
Rex looks pretty good. Is the pig one isn't ceramic, right?
No, Disney does not produce a ham toy either.
Yeah, because like
This is a knockoff from Amazon, actually.
really, because he wouldn't
always-
be.
They don't make ham. They don't make ham.
Because he wouldn't be plastic. He would be just a regular piggy bank.
Yeah, I mean, this is a piggy bank. There's coins in him.
Yeah, but I think it would be like ceramic. I would assume.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
I can't find that. That's not a thing I can find. But I like Rex is made of plastic. He's not like the the
Can you
squeezy
open the
plastic he is
hatch?
in the movie.
Can you open the
There's
hatch?
no
Oh.
on Ham.
No, on like
Or what?
Rex, and like there in this part, like in the middle part.
Oh no
like-
no no! This is a speaker
Oh,
and batteries. They have all the newer toys have a like speaker built into them, and they like interact with each other if you press it, and they'll just like repeat voice lines. But I like Rex. Rex is pretty accurate. I will say the aliens are the least accurate ones because they're not like squishy or anything. I tried to buy dog toy aliens. They're the same size, and they're like plastic chew toys that squeak. But it never came, and I was just scammed out of 20-something bucks, which is very annoying. But I got these ones, and these ones still look very accurate. No, because I could not find it anywhere else besides the one website that scammed me.
well, now we know we got Secret Santa 3. 4.
Yeah, if you can find. Although I don't know, then I have these 3 that I wouldn't know what to do with. Secret Santa 3, get me the Barbie from the movie.
Secret Santa 4.
Speaking of
yeah.
Barbie,
You watch Barbie?
Wow, what a transition, Beck. I really like that one.
Barbie.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, again, we venture into the depths of random ass 2025 movies we watched for this challenge.
True.
And we will be talking about Barbie and Teresa, a recipe of friendship.
Yes.
Beck, can I let me just get, is it like a movie about 2 old women or something? Like
No, it's about Barbie.
What?
It's about the Barbie dolls.
It's
I
about
thought it was like
white
an
Barbie, black Barbie, Teresa, the random actor girl.
It
and
sounded like a
Teresa's
movie where
mom.
2 old friends
And
go
the
across
other black girl that you're forgetting. There's another character, and
There
also
is,
the gay
yeah.
guy with the dog.
That gay
You're
guy
forgetting about-
is in like fucking 2 scenes. He's barely a character.
Beck, you
I don't know,
gotta be
man.
better with how you talk about black characters. Come on.
I know it's very racist.
Very
of me.
upsetting.
It is really funny because canonically, like, both Barbies are called Barbie, so they call one of them Brooklyn and they call the other one Malibu.
Because that's where they're from. That's Beck. You know that these are based on real dolls that exist in
I
real life,
understand,
right?
yes. I just think it's kind of funny.
And that is what they're called in real life. Anyway, I don't know why Teresa's name is in the title of this movie. Because she's not important. It is
He
about
a
both
side
Barbie.
character. The main character arc is the friendship rift between Barbie and Barbie.
Yeah.
Because Barbie's
See,
trying to
they
help
all-
with the restaurant, and other Barbies
gotta-
are trying to musical dance.
Yeah. Because Puppies the musical took all of the actors and the dancers, and now they're missing a dancer. So what are they gonna do? So Emmy has this brilliant plan to just force it upon Barbie, and Barbie's like, you know what? That's what friends are for. I will help you because I'm your friend. And then Malibu Barbie is like, why aren't you helping us? You're our friend. And then
So basically
No,
gaslighting
I'm
each other.
torn between
No.
my friends.
I'm torn between my friends. Whatever will I do? I will do nothing, and the problem will resolve itself.
And then the side plot is Teresa goes to help her sister open a restaurant,
Mom,
and then she tries to make what?
mom.
Oh, it's her mom.
I think
This
so.
guy never even watched the movie.
She's
I don't-
visibly older than the rest of the characters.
it's some
Oh, it's her
relative.
cousin. Sorry, her cousin.
Cousin,
My
yeah.
bad.
Some relative. And she's trying to open a restaurant in New York City, and she wants her grandmother's tamales recipe. So Teresa writes it all down, goes to New York, and she tries making them, but she fails. And she's like, I copied it like exactly. Why didn't it work? And then she calls her grandma and is like, the recipe comes from inside you. You gotta make it your own.
Wow. You gotta
then-
not follow the directions and make it inconsistently. So that way your customers have different varying levels of good food.
Yeah. and then they have a big party, and there's like 4 songs in this because it's a musical.
And they all suck. And one of them took the entire movie to write. It took 2 days for one of the characters to come up with a line for a song, and then the
And
song
it was like,
sucked.
friendship is important.
It was like friendship is important. And you know what? That movie was kind of all right. It wasn't very long. The animation wasn't the worst. America Young really gives it her all when she voices Barbie. I
Yeah,
don't fucking know.
it was a film we watched for the competition.
Yeah,
Um,
and so
it
it
is-
counts.
I think that I was like looking at like, okay, what actual like animated films came out this year? There's like 3,
very
and I think I've seen.
Yeah, there's
all
like
of
3 so
them.
far. Well, will you
Well-
watch there's Elio coming out later this year.
I'm
There's the
actually really
Gen-
excited for Elio.
There's the Gennady Tarkovsky film coming out later this year.
Yeah, okay, it's just like Plankton.
Bro, you haven't seen Plankton.
I haven't seen Plankton. Some
You don't need to
movie
watch
called
Plankton.
Jumbo, I think, just came out.
What is it called?
Gumbo.
Jumbo?
It's an Indonesian film called Jumbo.
Huh.
About a guy trying to put on a stage play. But he gets
Sounds like a
bullied.
good movie. Sounds like a good movie.
Yeah, that and then Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League. which
Right. I've yet to
we
watch
need
that
to
one.
watch that, where Batman fights the Yakuza.
Yeah.
Isn't the Flash also in that?
What?
Right? It has like the entire Justice League in it.
I don't know.
Think.
We haven't seen this. We haven't seen it.
Okay.
We have not.
Well-
We need to watch that one.
What's it called again?
Ninja Batman versus Yakuza League. Oh, and there's Sneaks. Oh my god, me and Aiden are gonna
Yeah.
watch Sneaks next week.
Nicola, you're
No.
gonna come watch Sneaks with us.
Probably.
It might
I also-
have an average of
Oh yeah, it does
2.4
have
on
basically the entire
Letterboxd.
Justice League. I have
Oh.
seen a couple. I have
Jesus
seen a couple.
Christ.
I think this has a chance to be a terrible
I have
movie.
seen a couple clips of the of the Batman one. All I've really seen of it is that it's the best depiction of the Flash.
In the
He just, like,
in the
wins?
Batman Yakuza League?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. I like him.
That's like the one
I
thing
like
I heard.
that.
Okay. I'm gonna knock out my other 2 singles.
Before we get into Beck's singles, let's talk about some news in the.
Oh yeah, let's get into the news.
Well, we got the trailer for Rick and Morty season 8. Pretty exciting.
Yes,
Looks
Man,
very
fun.
exciting.
I don't
Uh,
want to be that guy, but 8 seasons. At this point, I feel like they're kind of like doesn't really need to keep going.
It's an animated show.
Guy who is used to a 1 or 2 season show in the year of 2025, seeing
Yeah.
a
I
show
like
be
Dexter,
successful.
that's fucking 8
Exactly.
seasons.
Yeah, but
Nicola,
that
you
came out
wa-
in 2013.
So did Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
It
Oh my god.
literally did though.
Anyway, it is good that shows are running for that long, I think.
Let this horse die.
In
No.
addition, we are getting the first season that is fully with the new voice actors. Yes.
Exciting.
No redubbing or anything. They get to improvise. They get to help with the stuff. It's fully
it-
them.
And it looks
They
like
get to work off each other.
it looks like a pretty exciting season based on just
Yeah.
the trailer. I mean, it's just your average Rick and Morty sort of trailer. I think pretty fun adventures. I'm excited to just have like a good episodic season with this. I think there might be one single episode that might be canon, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
But that's the usual formula. So
Yeah,
Alright,
but it's still
other
very,
news.
still very exciting.
Other news, we got first look at the Animal Farm movie. I think this is supposed to come out this
is that
year.
based off the Ray Bradbury book?
Yes.
So it's going to be
and
like violent.
I
presumably.
know, because I'm looking at the casting and it's like Seth Rogen, Steve Buscemi, Woody Harrelson, Kieran
my
Culkin.
God.
There's
Are
like
they
a
gonna
fucking
fuck-
comedic cast.
Are
This
they
is a
gonna
film
nerf?
where a horse gets worked to
gonna
death
make-
and then sold
They're
for
going
meat.
to make Animal Farm a comedy is crazy.
You cannot make Animal Farm a comedy.
They're gonna
would
nerf
be
Animal
real-
Farm.
You
Like,
can
they-
make
they-
Animal Farm a
I think-
comedy really
I
easily.
think they make it. I think they think it's Animal House. No, this is Animal Farm. They're very different movies.
Beck,
Oh,
I
those
think
are-
they might. What if they go for like a dark black animated comedy, like adult animated? They could do that.
I feel the story itself
Lends itself to a
feel-
drama.
does not.
feels like
it
a-
lends itself
Because the
so much
whole
to a
theme
drama.
the themes of the show, of the book, come from
Yeah, it's like
It being a
slavery,
drama.
communism, death. It's a depressing ass story. I don't see it being a Seth Rogen comedy.
Well, maybe Seth can do a dramatic role.
Hmm.
Um,
Name
Yeah, but-
one dramatic role Seth Rogen has done.
Bob.
Dylan.
He was
Um,
Bob Dylan?
No, he wasn't. guys.
No,
What?
I
Bro.
never said Bob Dylan. I
He
said
looks a lot
Bob, like
younger.
from Monsters vs. Aliens.
Oh yeah.
But no, I mean, I think they could try to do something interesting, but I don't know. We'll really have to see. Is it who's directing? Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis, yeah.
That's pretty cool, though.
Mm.
In other news, the Pope died, and Conclave has risen up in watch.
Yeah, it's actually really funny.
Right
I was looking
before
for
it goes on Prime Video.
so
crazy.
no, it was on Prime Video because literally the day of, I was looking for a movie to watch. I was scrolling through streaming services, open up Prime Video. The very first thing it recommends is Conclave.
Yeah.
So then I'm like,
Bro, the
okay,
Amazon
So-
marketing team is like,
yeah.
they
So
just
I
make
They
then
killed
so
him.
much money.
I then closed it and I was like, okay, so I'm not gonna watch that. What can I watch? And then I saw something else that was recommended that I knew came out this year, and that would be Companion.
This guy
So,
is stealing
I
my
watched
section.
Companion.
And I've
That
actually
was-
wait, okay. Quickly, before you get into Companion, I would like to have everyone do their checkups of the 2025 list, see how everyone's doing.
Well,
I
Black, have
already
you
checked it,
updated
but
it
sure, I'll
since
say it
recently?
again.
It's up, yeah, it's updated fully. So I am 30 out of 41, so 73%.
I am 68%, 28 out of 41.
I gotta
Give me
look up.
1 second. I'm looking for his
So-
lists.
Yeah, Nikola is the only other person who's seen.
I'm in
Companion.
third, and then Beck's in last. I mean, Uri's in last.
I'm in first.
Why can't I? Wait, I'm trying to go to your profile. It doesn't let me go to your profile. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell you the exact amount. I am 46%, 19 of 41.
I'm only at 24%. I gotta catch up.
There are some
Yeah,
more
okay.
ones I do want to
I'm like
watch, but I
3
will.
times
I
ahead of
need.
Uri, that's
I need
crazy.
Aiden to give me the login to Cinemark so I can buy tickets to movies that I want to watch.
Yeah.
I'll go see them with you.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't because you're doing it for someone else, and sometimes I want to watch it myself.
Yeah.
For
There are
example, I
definitely
wanna
a
go
couple
watch-
here you
For
guys
example,
could watch.
Revenge of the Sith is re-releasing. I want to watch that. Number 2, Warfare. I want to watch that.
Yeah. Wow,
Whatever
it's
you guys said you guys are watching next week. I want to watch that.
like
Sneaks,
a couple
yeah.
breaking up. Like they can't watch things together anymore.
Well, no,
Yeah.
me and Aiden like had that for a year, but now we're gonna fucking hit it so hard May 1st. We're talking Thunderbolt, Sneaks, Legend
yeah.
of OT.
100%.
We're
Are you
gonna
already
hit
back
so
on May
many.
1st?
I get back May 2nd.
May 2nd, you're here. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
But Nikola, Companion. I personally, it is one of my favorite movies of the year.
It was, I think, one of the best movies that came out so far this year. Out of the ones that I've watched this year, it's definitely one of the best. Can I just give the plot synopsis? I don't think anybody else is gonna like.
Well, we
Care
already
about
know
it.
the plot. We already
Did
know the
Beck-
plot.
I don't remember Beck talking about it in the past.
He has
I
talked about it.
I talked about it a bit, but you can just give your quick thoughts.
Okay, so I liked it. I thought what they did was kind of smart. I think that it was really fun. Some of the parts were really funny. I think it was a really good horror comedy. Probably the best one that came out this year. I would say, I mean, the only other really horror comedy that came out this year would be like The Monkey.
The monkey.
It's crazy, like people like consider horror and not horror, because I feel like the line is like so like blurred nowadays.
I mean, for me, I would say it's horror because of that jump scare of Jack Quaid Cumface, but so there's one scene where basically it's like in the beginning of the movie, and it's Iris who's the robot girlfriend. Funny that's a coincidence because isn't Huey's original in the beginning is also Iris, isn't it? In the beginning of The Boys, isn't her name also Iris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So basically, is it not Iris? Then who is it?
It was Robin.
It was Robin. I could have sworn it was Iris. Why did I think it was Iris?
You're a dumbass. Continue.
There's somebody that's named Iris. Anyway, more importantly, him and Iris are basically dancing together, and then it smash cuts to full screen of just Jack Quaid's face while he's coming inside her. And then he goes to sleep. And that shit was actually the most scary jump scare of the movie. I'm not even kidding. That shit was terrifying.
Okay, one thing I don't know if like you felt this, but it definitely felt like the fact that she was a robot was meant to be a twist, but they just had that all over the
They did it
advertising.
so they did it so early. It was definitely supposed to be a twist. But then also they hinted it so many times.
I mean,
Like,
didn't the fucking
his
marketing
nick-
campaign paint it like that?
Yeah,
but
the
even
mark.
just in the movie, even just in the movie, up until it's revealed, it's like her pet name is Beep Boop. He calls her Beep Boop constantly.
She can't be a robot.
He can't be a
And he's like, hey Iris, what's the weather? And she's like, oh, it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit and mostly cloudy. Speaking of which, we didn't say the temperature.
Oh,
I
shit,
did.
yeah.
I did.
They
It's
didn't.
57.
It's 53.
Yeah.
56.
Yeah. And then there's also stuff where she was like, at one point I felt like there was something inside me that was broken. And then when I saw Josh, who's Jack Quaid's character, I felt like it got fixed and stuff like that. And it's like a bunch of stuff that's like, there's just like a bunch of stuff that they did. I was like, it's so clear that she was a robot. So overall, I really liked it. I think it was a good movie. I gave it 4 stars. Pretty good movie. I recommend it. Actually, don't watch it though, but I recommend it. You can watch it in 2026 when the challenge is over.
Yeah, but I will. In other news, what an interesting turn of like filming things. So, do you guys know about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yeah,
They're making a sequel for Netflix.
They're making a sequel, but
Without
David
Quentin Tarantino.
Fincher is making it. It's about Cliff Booth. It's called like his Tales in Hollywood. What an interesting turn. I guess it's not that big of a thing when a director takes over a sequel, but just the idea that Quentin Tarantino is only going to make 10 films, and that's like his thing. He's going to make only 10 films.
Didn't Quentin Tarantino write the script though?
Yeah, but he only direct 10 films.
But he wrote the script.
I still don't know about. He probably is very heavily involved, just not in directing capacity. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't want David Fincher to keep making Netflix movies. I want him to make like theater movies again.
Real movie?
It's like his past few. The Killer was not that good, I think, and Mank was fine. He keeps making like Netflix movies. I want to go back to like Social Network, Gone Girl, like actual theater movies in theaters. So I hope they release it in theaters along with Netflix. I hope, but it's a very interesting turn that they're making a movie just on the Brad Pitt character. So I really wonder how that sort of pans out. It sounds interesting. It was revealed on April Fools, which kind of made it seem kind of not real, but then it was a real announcement. So
Yeah, for
mean,
me, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I remember when I was watching it, I didn't really like it, but I feel like the longer it's like sat with me, the more I've like thought about it and be like, wow, that was actually a really good movie.
yeah, I really like. I think it's
what
probably
about the can
the
of
top 5
beans?
of Tarantino movies. I say my favorite one is probably Django.
Siri keeps trying to fucking talk to me for no reason.
Kill her.
I don't know why. She's constantly listening to me.
It's almost like your phones are listening to us.
Wow,
I know, it's crazy.
what a shocker. Does anyone else have any like big news from the media?
I don't believe so.
Well, Aiden, let's talk about Abbott.
Yes. Let's talk about
So
Abbott.
I finished the season. I'm gonna say I think this was probably one of my favorite seasons of Abbott. It was a fun season of
It was a
Abbott.
very good season. Okay, the thing that made it good was that Gregory and Janine were actually in a relationship, and it wasn't just annoying as shit.
Ava's character arc worked amazing this season.
Yeah. Mhm.
That was
I
a
think
highlight.
Ava's character was done really well.
Jacob a
Yeah.
little weak, but he got a few things with like helping the kids out.
Yeah, no, I definitely like all that stuff. I don't
was
think
good.
Barbara and
Melissa.
had very much to do.
They didn't
yeah.
do. They were just. They had some moments here and there with like Barbara's singing lessons,
Yeah.
and that was cool and stuff. But really, the season highlighted with the Janine and Eddie relationship, Greg
Yeah.
relationship, because they're the core of the show. Like in like The Office, we have the core of Jim and Pam, and they're really the core of the show since they are the main characters, really, because like the story comes from their perspective. They are the sort of the highlight focal point of the show, and so we're definitely going to see how like I'm glad that they're doing this. They didn't try to stretch it even longer, because if they didn't do it in season 4, I would have been like done. Like they needed to do this now, and I really hope they don't try to do like a fake breakout. I want to see the relationship grow from like a couple to maybe moving in together to marriage and to maybe a kid in like the final season.
Maybe, yeah.
But because I see Abbott as could be like a 7-8 season type of show.
Yeah.
Working in that
Which
kind of
which I
vein.
do hope for. I do hope for more of the show. It's very good.
It's a very fun show. It's like a very nice thing to just watch every week, and just like a little episodic television. It's very much in line with Parks and Rec and The Office. Very office workplace documentary. We all know the formula, but pretty good
We
season.
all know how much everybody loves The Office.
Nikola, you're like the only person who doesn't like it.
It's just not that funny, bro. It's just not that funny.
But you know, it was. I think they did a pretty good arc. Like a final few episodes, like Ava got fired, but then like she has her motivation job, but then she doesn't really like the motivational speaker thing, so she goes back, and they do like a whole thing where they got community together.
I really liked the rally episode. I
That
really
was
liked
fun.
that whole sequence. Having all the groups of characters from the season come back. Having especially Ava's dad be the one leading.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Leading the group of just the townspeople
Mhm.
and whatnot.
And then having like Ava start actually dating having a boyfriend character. I love that.
Yeah.
Ava and her boyfriend. That was cool because they really set him up.
I love Oshan. Oshan is such a fun character.
They set him up like they did such a good job setting him up throughout the season. Like they did a few like hints in the beginning episodes, like a few nods.
He was introduced in season 3 though, right?
No, I think this season 4.
Was he
beginning of season 4.
beginning of this season?
He was only in this season.
Okay.
But they set him up really well. Like they did a few hints, and then they really build him out throughout the season, where it felt very natural. And I love that, you know.
Yeah,
Such a
and I
good-
really like how like what episode is it? Whatever one that they go on their first date and it doesn't like work out, and it's entirely because he's a really like good person.
Yeah.
Versus Ava, who was not.
Yeah.
Terrible
And
person.
it does help with her character a lot, making her just a nicer person.
Yeah, and you can also sense that she definitely is kind of that way because of what she was with her, like because of her father, and so seeing her father kind of come back from that kind of like you get a lot of healing for Ava, and I thought like her character I think has almost been sort of the sleeper character arc throughout this whole show, which is really cool.
She's been such a sleeper character. Like I've always like season 1, I found her like she was like by far one of my least favorite of the main cast. But I always thought she was funny.
Yeah.
I didn't like her character, but I thought she was funny.
Yeah.
And now her character has grown into this more like trustworthy like friend of the main characters.
Like in the first season she doesn't really care about the school. Fourth season she really cares about the school.
Now she does, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's just great. Like that's like the type of arc you can really see in like like a television show, like like when you see like Jim and Dwight actually kind of becoming friends in the
Yeah.
later seasons, like something where you can do like a very small character arc, start an entire show, especially for a show that is supposed to be a longer sitcom show. It's great when they can do stuff like that.
Yeah, and I do like in the final episode of the season the send off for the 8th graders
Yeah, that
because
was really
because I mean they're not like focused on as much as like the younger kids,
cool.
but they're definitely a part of Jacob's character
Yeah,
a lot because that's his class obviously,
yeah,
and like RJ's in that group and all the other kids that he helps out, and so they're gonna move on, so that will be a move like a jumping point for Jacob, I think, because he'll
Yeah.
have to have just a new thing. And I do hope we have more Jacob, because Jacob was very prevalent in I think season 1 and 2,
yeah.
and he's kind of just
He's-
been relegated to more side character now,
Yeah,
But more than he
I
already was.
I really hope they don't they do a thing where he leaves the show in season 5 or anything.
Oh, I will be mad if Jacob leaves the show. He is my favorite character.
Yeah. So that's Abbott. Really great show. It's just a really fun watch. 4 seasons, like great, just sort of binge if you haven't
Yeah.
seen it. Beck, you want to get to your singles?
I will knock out my singles real quick. I'm pretty sure it might just be one single. Oh no, it's 2.
I also have
First,
one single, so we can do
I
mine
don't even
after.
think I don't think I
Uri,
have
like
any singles.
3 weeks ago, talked about the Watermelon Woman.
You did
and then
watch the watermelon one.
I
You
had
watched
to
the-
watch it for class also.
Is it?
So it's
kind
really
of-
funny because randomly I will just hear about a movie in the podcast and be like, wow, that sounds interesting. And then I get to watch it for class. So I'm actually kind of like,
Wow.
the homework isn't as boring as I thought.
Beck, but the thing is,
Whoa.
it's the acting leaves a lot to be desired, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good parts. It also just kind of felt like it had the watching for class vibe where it's like, it was like early in the morning. I was tired. I didn't really want to be there, so I kind of didn't enjoy the movie as much.
Yeah.
But I
Wait,
still
Becca,
think it was good.
do you have to watch do you have like a film history class in the morning
I have a media histories class.
and you watch films and
and-
stuff?
Yes.
Okay, because I had the
Uh,
exact same thing last year, where from like 9 to 12 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays last year, I woke up, had to go to class, and we did a presentation. Like he gave a lecture, our teacher, and then we watched like a movie for the rest of it. That's how it kind of worked.
Yeah. We do like 10 to 2, and sometimes we do a movie, and sometimes we just watch the movie for homework. Like tonight, I have to watch Tu Mama Tambien for class tomorrow.
Oh, good. You love that
Um,
movie.
And Uri,
That's actually a
I remember
fantastic movie.
I remember last semester, like when you were doing the media, you were telling us about this movie, and I was like, "Holy shit, what the fuck is this movie?" And then now I gotta watch it, and I'm realized, yeah, you were right. It's basically just fucking porn.
But Beck, you didn't get the experience of watching it in a class. That was crazy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm like 15 minutes in, like, bro, if I had to watch this in class, I'd fucking die.
No, it's like
Why? I think that would be funny.
it was
You
like
just
a
every 30
stadium.
seconds turn over to your friend and be like,
No, okay.
It was an auditorium full of people, and it was just crazy.
No, I felt like the same thing happened with like fucking Booksmart when it was like all like the fucking like jokes and the teacher was just laughing loudly in the background. I'm like, this is not like a watch during class a movie.
You know what's crazy?
Oh.
And while we watched Booksmart in that class, the teacher said like, I really do not like that they did this joke in the movie when they had a joke about a teacher having sex with a student. Our teacher, I know we all had the same teacher.
Yeah,
She said that like she didn't like that. That's just something I remember.
But another film I had to watch for media histories was As Tears Go By.
I've never heard of that.
Which is Wong Kar-wai.
Oh, I
Chungking
have
Express.
heard of Wong Kar-wai. I watched a
Yes.
different movie of his, and I have to watch another movie of his for Friday.
Yeah, so we had to watch Chungking Express in a
Ooh,
different
that's
class.
he's made a lot of movies because like I've seen like one, and I have to watch 2 different kind of movies from his. I watch In the Mood for Love, and I have to watch Happy Together this Friday.
Nice. But I liked Chungking Express.
But I think I liked As Tears Go By a bit more.
What's it
So
about?
the basic plot is there's this guy. He's a gangster. And his cousin comes to stay at his house because she's sick with lung cancer. And then he tries to be like a good gangster, but his brother is just like, fuck, I'm a low-level gangster. I'm poor. I'm gonna do all this shit. I'm gonna cheat in pool. I'm gonna do all this bad stuff because I want to look cool like a gangster. And then he gets fucking beat up like 8 separate times in the movie because like, you tried cheating me in poker, get fucking beat up. You tried stealing money from me, get fucking beat up. You tried beating me up, boom, I beat you up. You broke my car, fucking beat. This kid gets fucking beat up so many times in this movie, and he's still like, they fucking beat me up, so I'm gonna prove them wrong by doing something worse. Then gets just beat up again. It's like a fucking endless cycle of him just getting more bones cracked. But all that stuff ends in the breath like, bro, please do not do this. Until eventually, the kid is like, okay, I'm gonna murder this guy for the Godfather, and then everyone will respect me because I will have done this really cool thing of like killing the rat. But the brother's like, if you do that, you will be going to prison. Please do not do this. The brother's like, you know what, bro? I got you. I won't do it. It's like, hey, yo, look at that dog over there. Then fucking sprints away. And then goes to go kill the guy. He kills the guy, gets fucking shot 18 times in the chest by the random police officers. And the guy that he kills, like, he was shot like in the shoulder, like bleeding out. It's like, oh, that sucks. But then the brother comes in with another pistol and just shoots him in the head, and then the brother gets shot to death. So both brothers just die trying to kill this
It's
rat
just a
guy.
blood wound.
But yeah, so that was the main thing in the story. But also, the cousin that was staying over with the guy in the beginning of the story, there's a fucking love story between her and the main guy. I don't know why they had to be cousins. They could literally be anybody else. But yeah, he's dating his second cousin in this movie.
Is she hot?
Second cousin's not that bad.
It's still not good.
No, this director definitely goes for like definitely absurdism and kind of randomism as like a chaos of life. That's definitely a theme of his sort of movies. If you see In the Mood for Love, it's very kind of a strange, more quiet, but very kind of surreal movie just as much.
Yeah.
But that looks good. I might have to watch that. Is it a foreign? It's like because he makes English films and he also makes foreign films.
It's foreign films.
Okay,
It's a
yeah.
foreign film.
Okay, and then last solo thing I watched is there was this show released on Max called Lazarus. It's by the same guy
I did see that.
that did Cowboy Bebop.
It did look like Cowboy
Wait,
Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop, the live action one?
No, the anime. It's animated.
Oh,
No,
It's
I
on
did see that. I
Adult
was
Swim,
thinking
which
about
was weird.
I was thinking about watching that, but then I was like, I
Wait.
haven't actually seen Cowboy Bebop, so I'd
So,
rather watch
like-
that first.
wait.
Yeah.
Is this the what is this? Let me see.
It's on Max. So the basic premise is there's this doctor
Wait,
guy.
hold on. Before you explain it, let me see if I want to watch this because I didn't know this.
I'm just
thing.
explaining like the general premise of the show. I won't go into like spoilers. I'm just gonna say
What
what's
is it
in like,
called
the
again?
first 5 minutes. It's called Lazarus. Like from the Jesus movie.
Oh, here we are.
Like the pit from
Yeah, I might
Batman.
want to watch this one back.
Okay, well, can I just like explain like what the caption says for the movie or for the show?
Sure, yeah, that works.
Okay, so Lazarus is basically there's this doctor guy, and he makes this drug called Hapna,
The
and
medicine drug?
randomly
That's not a real
3
drug.
years late, and then disappears, and then 3 years later is like, I've tricked all of you. Hapna will kill you in 30 days unless you can find me. So they need to hunt down this random scientist guy, or all of humanity is gonna die from this drug. So yeah, that's basically the general premise, and they got like a Spike Spiegel ass guy and like a team basically that's like Cowboy Bebop trying to hunt the guy down.
But yeah, there's like 3 episodes out. It's coming out weekly. It's very good.
Cool. Sounds awesome.
And I think that's my last semi-solo. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Been watching some part 5, I believe. Yeah, part 5. I'm definitely not liking it as much as the other parts so far.
You're
Uh,
you're 4 episodes in.
I'm 8 episodes in.
This guy
But
sucks
yeah.
ass.
Beck, why do you keep
I
watching it if you
like
don't
the
like it?
other parts. I'm just not fucking with part 5 so far. And I mean that's just like the same with like the beginning of every part. Hopefully, like over the course, I like start liking it more. But so far, it's not really like piquing my interest. You know. Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of JoJo, guys, there was something that really, really awesome that happened last week.
What, Aiden?
Didn't we already talk about it?
Last week was my birthday.
So how old are you?
Hey,
50?
you got the JD Vance
50?
hat.
Are you 50?
I'm 20 now. I'm
Wow.
20 years
Fucking
old.
Old. Get him out of here.
Old.
You're like
Okay.
you're like the M. Night Shyamalan movie Old. Are you gonna give birth to a baby soon?
No, I can't do that, actually. That's not impossible.
Skill issue, Aiden.
Actually. Okay. But you say, Aiden, what kind of a segue was that? Well, on the week of my birthday, I have started officially my physical JoJo manga collection. Very exciting. And I'm here to show it off.
I have been wanting to do like a physical DVD collection, but I don't own a DVD player, so I think it'd be kind of useless.
Maybe, but books, you don't need a DVD player for books. So what do we have?
Yeah.
What do we have? Part 1. All of part 1. Very exciting.
3 books.
It's 3 books. It's very short. It's all 3 volumes. Very exciting. It's all, as you can see, English, black and white. Okay, that's not a black and white one. Black and white. Very
like
cool.
the manga.
Because it is in black and white. That's true. So we've got part 1. Next. Part 2.
The best one.
That's part 4.
So do you have the full thing? Is the full thing for part 2 4 books?
The full thing is part 2 is 4 books. Yes.
Cool.
So all of part 2. Very cool stuff. Very awesome. Next. I've had this one for a little bit. Volume 1 of Stone Ocean.
6,
This doesn't
right?
apply. This is 6. Beck, you don't really care about that one. That's okay. That's okay. Next. We have volume 1 and 2 of Thus Spoke Rohan Kashibe. These are short, one-shot stories starring Rohan Kashibe.
Is that the one that has the spin-off on Netflix? Is it based on those?
Yes, it's based on 2 in this book, or 3 in this book. At the Confessional, Mutsukabe Hill, and Millionaire Village. And then in this book, it is The Run. So that's what the Rohan OVA is. Very exciting. These are very good. I haven't read any of the ones in this book. I've read these ones, but I have not read these ones. So that's very cool.
Aiden,
And
when
on the
should I watch the Rohan stuff? Like after part 6 or just anytime?
You can watch it now.
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing is that you should you've already started part 5, which is fine because there's a little bit of the first episode of part 5, or at least mention of it. Next thing on the Rohan train, Rohan at the Louvre, the official JoJo and Louvre thing when JoJo had art in the Louvre, or Rocky had his art in the Louvre. So this is a story about Rohan at the Louvre in Paris, the art museum. So this one's also very cool. I've not read this one, but it's also very exciting. Next. Crazy Diamond's Demonic Heartbreak, the spin-off not written by Araki, about Hull Horse and Oingo and Josuke and Morio trying to catch another bird like Pet Shop. Dude, that's very cool. I like Hull Horse, I like Josuke. I read these as they were coming out and then forgot to finish it. So now I can finish it. And then I have 2 of the art books. I have the Jojo 6251 and then Jojo A Go Go. These are both art books. This one has a little bit of an encyclopedia thing in the back, but it was written before part 4 was over. So like Kira isn't in it at all. Yeah. And this one's just another art book, but this one has part 5 in it. Try to see if I can go to a part 5 page without spoiling anything.
Just don't.
Yeah, I'll look away.
You can look at this one. You know who all these characters are.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's an exciting stuff, I think.
Exciting birthday for Aiden, the birthday boy.
Exciting. And then I got that Lego castle that you see in the back. It's the Beauty and the Beast castle.
Yeah, is your stomach full and fat now, Aiden, on all your birthday gluttony?
Okay, well I bought half of this shit myself. So I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really like the way it sounded when I said that.
Birthday gluttony. No, I like it. Anyway, I just wanted to show that stuff off while I was there. But anyway, I do have a single if I could talk about that real fast.
Yes,
Yeah.
talk about the single.
Yeah, so I've watched another Paul Rudd movie.
Friendship.
Part of that. No,
I'm
that's out
excited
next
to
month.
hear about this.
Oh, Beck, are you a big Romeo plus Juliet fan, directed by Baz Luhrmann?
I ran. So when we were doing Romeo and Juliet, we were doing some kind of Shakespeare. In like my English class, they were like, yeah, there's been a lot of modern Shakespeare adaptations. This one has Leonardo DiCaprio as a gangster, and I'm like, what the fuck is this movie?
It is
Aiden,
Leonardo.
what is this movie?
Oh, you haven't seen it. That I get.
I have
Okay.
not seen it. All I've heard is Leonardo DiCaprio is a gangster, and it's Romeo and Juliet.
It's like Leonardo DiCaprio, Romeo and Juliet is like a pretty famous one.
So imagine Romeo and Juliet, but instead of like medieval times, and they don't have swords and horses, they have guns and cars, and also it's like LA basically.
So like West Side Story.
I guess I
Like, isn't
haven't
that
seen
New
West
York?
Side Story. But what's unique about it is that they still keep all the Shakespeare dialogue, so it's basically incomprehensible.
No way.
Yeah. So it's basically incomprehensible to
That's
listen
fun.
to unless you have captions on. But it is a very unique idea. I think the cinematography is very shaky, which is a little bit of a problem for me. I think I didn't really like the cinematography much, but the acting is very good. Concept of what if Romeo and Juliet was in like 90s LA is really funny to me. Like Romeo is just wearing a Hawaiian shirt the whole time. That's really funny. They use guns instead of swords. Like the guns say like dagger and like rapier on them. Like that's funny as shit. Like how they translate the themes of stuff from Romeo and Juliet. Very cool. I like how they do it. But I know the real question.
Himself in the end.
Yeah, no, it's the same. It's the same. It's Romeo and Juliet. It's not
Like is it
different.
like poison or is it like he shoots himself in the head?
Oh, it's poison. Juliet shoots herself in the head. Yeah. But I know what the real question is. The real question is, how is Paul Rudd in this movie? Now, Paul Rudd, he plays what's his face? Hold on, I gotta go check my fucking list. He plays how do I here we go.
He plays a big
Um,
man named.
He plays Count Paris, which is the person that Juliet is supposed to be married to. And he isn't in it that long, which makes sense.
You're
I
telling
think.
me Juliet doesn't want to be married to Paul Rudd?
That's what I'm saying.
That's fucking crazy.
That's what I'm saying. But she doesn't, I guess. Which is okay.
Not okay.
But he's not in it like all that much. But he is very funny. Like the scene where Romeo and Juliet officially meet is a Halloween, so he's dressed as an astronaut in that scene. Very good, very cool. No, but Paul Rudd's acting was fine. He was fun whenever he showed up. He is just like a guy. He's like, I can't wait to be married to you, Juliet. I'm so very happy. And Juliet's like, you know, classic Romeo and Juliet stuff. Classic. Yeah. So pretty good movie. Seven out of 10.
Paul Rudd.
I think 7 out of 10 Paul Rudd, 7 out of 10 movie, I think. I think the cinematography is just not doing it for me, and quite frankly, I don't find the story of Romeo and Juliet very interesting, but I do like how they do the like putting it in like a modern time.
How do they die at the end?
Well, same
We
way.
literally already said that.
Romeo poisons himself, and then Juliet shoots herself in the head.
Oh, right. That doesn't happen like the original. I think it's both just. Is that maybe a stabbing?
Dagger to the heart, I feel like, was how Juliet killed herself.
No, in the
Yeah.
original one, she drank poison.
No,
Right,
she drinks the
Juliet
thing to fall
fake
asleep.
drank poison.
Bake
No,
drank
she
it.
she real drank poison that made her fall asleep until she woke up, and then Romeo killed himself with the actual poison, and then she was like,
then
"No,
she grabbed
Romeo, my
Romeo's dagger
Romeo."
and killed herself with a dagger. Yeah.
Yeah, but the gun is called Dagger.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It's cool. It is fun.
We need more named weapons. That
Yeah.
Nikola, bring out your knife.
What
What do you name your knife, Nikola?
Definitely the funniest part
I
about
didn't
this.
name it. You named it.
Nikola Chris.
But I do think the funniest part about this movie is for sure like how they keep the same Shakespearean dialogue. Like it's hard to like listen to it because like I don't get it. But it's cool conceptually.
Yeah, I get. There's like a movie called that's very similar. It's sort of like called My Own Private Idaho. And it's one of I don't remember which
the B-52 song.
No, it's with River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves, and it's like it's about like it's like a Shakespeare adaptation, and they use like Shakespeare words in the same sort of vein. It's not Baz Luhrmann. It's the guy who did Gus Van Sant. It's who did Good Will Hunting. And they use also so it's I don't remember which Shakespeare play it is, but it's also an adaptation of that, I think. Oh yeah, and they do that, and they also use Shakespeare in a modern language for that modern times Shakespeare language.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of like it's cool conceptually, but kind of hard to listen to if you're not a Shakespeare fan.
For sure.
Any other singles, or can I say my singles?
That's my only single. Yeah.
Let's see. Beck, I watched Warfare.
Don't talk about it because I do really want to watch it.
I'm just gonna
Actually,
say
no, you can talk about it.
I thought it was a bit overhyped. I'm gonna be honest.
Overhyped? I mean, you were a big fan of
Civil War. I felt it was
Civil
such
War,
on a
so-
well. It's like it's such a smaller scale movie than I thought it was gonna be.
It is, but I personally like the smaller scale because it's able to be a lot more dense.
Yeah,
Like I feel like I
Yeah.
fully understood the layout of like the entire house and like of the streets and like who all the people were, and I feel like that was really cool.
Yeah, I can see that it's very cool sort of conceptual, and I did enjoy with the vibe with it, but I feel like I still don't know much about the characters really, and maybe that's the point. But I don't know, I feel like I still
Yeah.
didn't feel that connected to the characters. At
I
the
don't.
end of
Yeah,
it.
like I don't know any of the characters' names, but I know like this is the guy that was having a panic attack.
This is the
one
guy
is
who
the
got his
guy
leg
with the
blown
loser.
off. This is the guy
Yeah.
who had yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
Um.
just expecting it to be way more violent than I thought. I thought it was like violent, but not as like as fast as I thought.
It was brutal. There were a couple scenes where I was like when they're
There's no
fucking
seasons like that.
dragging the legs across the floor and the guy's screaming in pain. That was
Yeah,
I heard
that's
the one
yeah,
thing
fair.
that the movie. I heard the thing the movie does really well is sound.
Yeah,
it
it's
does
true.
do
The
sound. It has like that fucking Oppenheimer moment where everything just goes silent.
Yeah, no, the sound in this movie is insanely well. It's cinematography very good, but I just felt it was still
It's
kind
the
of
same people that
lacking.
made Civil War, right?
Yeah,
Along with
Same
like some of the
director, yeah.
actual people of SEAL Team 5 that
yeah, and I
experienced
thought
it
it
in
was
real life.
very cool how in the end it was like they showed like because this is not like this is not a pro-war movie that's trying to glorify war.
Yeah.
What I think a very thing that can be like the interesting thing about war movies is that there's no movie that can really truly be anti-war because it has to be approved by sort of like the government and stuff like that, and it has to be also like things. American Sniper was supposed to be anti-war, but a lot of people were inspired by American Sniper, and they enlisted to do that.
Mm.
And so it's
There was definitely like the feeling of
invasion.
like it kind of felt like these are the good guys and they're being ambushed by the bad guys and like cheering when the bad guys got shot.
Yeah, even though you also have to remember
It's not
that
the U.S. guys
that
were
was
100% in the
that
right.
was the Iraq War. That was actually one of the most unjustifiable wars in U.S. history. That literally happened because Dick Cheney said there were weapons of mass destructions in Iraq, and then there weren't. They just lied, and everybody knew.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Well,
knew
I
he was
mean-
lying, but they still went to war.
I mean, there was still like the jihad who were like still attacking them in a civilian.
Yeah, but
like,
it's not.
sort of area.
It wasn't like Afghanistan where it was like actual retaliation. There really wasn't any reason for America to be in Iraq.
Okay, we're
Yeah,
not here to
we never
discuss.
see the American soldiers like kill like unarmed civilians. They just hold one family like hostage slightly.
Yeah,
But
the
it's,
thing
it's
is,
not
when
really
the-
like hostage. It's just like we're gonna steal your house.
yeah, and so I still don't get the feeling that like this was an anti-war movie. It definitely felt just like like a good made war movie. But I don't think it was like I don't think it was anti-war the same way Civil War was anti-war. You know?
Yeah, it felt very like I definitely got like a pro America, like these guys are heroes.
Type of thing. Because
all
especially
that.
when the ending when they show the guys.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I did like is how when the movie just ends on all them leaving, and then you just have the family who's kind of, yeah, it was Americans and stuff, and like the good guys, but like they're still traumatized by this government, you know. I really like it.
They
That, like,
literally had like nothing to do with
and now
it. Like,
the movie just ends on like they're finally gone because they're just as much invaders as anyone else, you know, the Americans. And I thought that was really cool.
wanted to fucking live in their house.
But yeah. But I don't know. I feel like people are overliking it a bit, but maybe that's just my perspective because I really like Civil War, so I think this was kind of a lesser one for me. But we'll see. I watched the Muppet movie again, the original, and the Goofy
Yeah,
movie.
you gave it a much higher score than last time, and then you gave a lower score than I would have given it personally.
Wow.
But what compelled you to watch those two, Uri?
Well, my friend was like, we should watch the Muppet movie. I was like, maybe we should watch the 2011 one. He's like, no, we should watch the original one. I was like, okay.
You should have watched the 2011 one.
And like all the songs,
You should have watched Take Manhattan.
all the songs hit this time. You know, they were so good. And the Goofy
They are
movie,
good.
Why?
the Goofy movie was so good, guys. It's such a strange fucking movie. Like Goofy has a son, and like
Yeah, he has a son. This is an established thing. This has been an established thing even prior to the movie.
I didn't even know that.
Goof Troop. There's an entire show about it. That's where Max is from. That's where Pete or not Pete specifically, but like PJ is from. But there's a whole show. It's called Goof Troop.
I
And
know.
then
I want
Max-
other things than Goofy, Aiden. Come on, I'm not.
And then there's also the Quack Pack, which is a sequel to DuckTales with the ducks. And then also Max is in that one.
And do you ever watch these animated shows and like be thinking, I could be watching Succession right now?
I've never
Do
seen
not,
those.
do not fucking
I haven't seen those shows.
don't
I
say that,
haven't
Uri.
watched them.
What, Beck?
Aiden would
Because-
not like I know he would not fuck with Succession.
Anyway, no, it was good. I like the Goofy movie. I think there's a second one.
There is a second
Um,
one. It's called The Extremely Goofy Movie. I have not seen it yet.
Yeah.
Are you
But
gonna watch the
that's all I
documentary
have to
about
say
it,
for-
Uri?
The documentary about what?
The Goofy movie.
No.
I talked about it last week.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But that's all I've been watching. Let's. I think we should end with The Last of Us. Let's talk about I think we'll save Sinners for next time because I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you can guys
quickly,
talk about the Jesus movie,
Sinners
right?
fucking peak.
It's
I
very
cannot wait to
good.
talk
It's
about
very,
it next
very
week.
good.
I'm excited.
It does one of my
It's very, very
favorite
good.
like story things, which is also why I like the Hatsune Miku movie.
They're
So-
very connected. They're very similar movies.
Talk
actually.
about-
Speaking of the Hatsune Miku movie,
So
Let's
Hatsune
just
Miku
do
and
it now.
Jesus.
what's the difference between Hatsune Miku and Jesus? Except I wanna plow one of them,
Same
and it's
level of
not
importance.
Hatsune Miku. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, here's the problem with the Miku movie. The problem with the Miku movie is that it's very boring. It's very boring.
It is dragged out, but you have to keep in mind it's a foreign film.
That's not
No,
a
You cannot just-
reason.
you can't just fucking say foreign film like it's a French art house film. It's fucking a Hatsune Miku anime mobile game adaptation.
I don't know what
This
you're
is
talking
not
about.
I mean,
fucking-
I think it's quite simple.
Lighthouse.
Other cultures have The Lighthouse is an American film.
I'm trying to fucking think of like a slow burn French film.
I broke out of The Lighthouse first.
I don't no. So you cannot say that it's not a boring movie because it is a boring movie. When
No,
the titular
Hatsune Miku's
character,
there.
no, she's fucking not. She
She is,
disappears for a third of it. She's not in half of the movie.
Okay,
We have-
Hatsune
you
Miku
deal-
like doesn't really like work as like a main character. I feel like
She
she's
could.
definitely a plot.
This movie
she's-
wasn't this movie.
She is definitely a plot device in the movie.
Yes, which is a
to
problem because
motivate
none of
the
the other characters are interesting. Name
I
three of them.
disagree.
Name three of them, Beck. Name three characters in this
Rocky.
movie.
Tsukasa, the girl with the mech robot, the really
You can-
emo one.
That's not a name of a character. You cannot just say the girl with the robot because that's not the name of a character.
Okay, I'm bad with character names, but I love all the designs. I think the designs of all the people are great.
What kind of arc do these characters go through?
They all make music that inspires and reaches people. They
So that
all
wasn't-
20 all 20 of them have the exact same arc, and I'm fine with that.
I am quite frankly not fine with that. I
I'm
found the
fine with
characters
that.
extremely boring and very samey. Every single one of them acted the exact same, and it was very dumb. And I did not
Okay.
like it.
Here is my thought on the plot of the movie. There are 5 different bands, all doing a different genre of music, split across the multiverse. And
That's
the
so
Hatsune- It is a mobile anime game. But I put that together through the film. It took a while to fucking realize all that shit.
Yes, actually. It takes so long to
there's
figure
so-
out like
What,
How
like,
many
what the fuck is a
characters are-
Sakai?
Yeah, what's the Sakai? How many groups of characters are there? There's 5. There's 5
Yeah.
groups of characters that all have the same motivation and same character and everything. They all
Yeah.
have their own unique Miku shit.
Yeah. So the bands, I believe, there's like the classic rock band. There's the
There's
pop
no classic
idol
rock.
band. There's no like like they play guitar and they play like drums and they play on like the school stage.
It kind
That was
of
not
rock.
classic rock, bro.
That
The
kinda
the
was.
hip hop band, the musical performance band, and the
They
emo
were the
chick.
rap band, though. The musical performance was not. I don't know. I don't
I know
care.
musical
'Cause
theater.
all the songs were bad. They all
I
sucked.
liked the songs. I liked the songs.
The only good song was the Miku song that she sang 20 times in the movie.
She does sing like that intro thing
She's-
like 20 times.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. I thought it was like a really good message about music reaching out and like helping people. I really like that idea in
Sure,
stories.
I thought it was a fun movie with some pretty major flaws, but nowhere near 4.5-star movie, bro.
Your major flaws. You have to go into this
Your
movie
audio simply isn't working.
You have to go to this movie understanding you won't understand shit. You need to just like go like, I won't understand shit. I'm just gonna go with the motions. And I did that. And I feel like if this was like if we had these same characters in like a show,
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
this felt like it should have been a TV show. This should not have been a movie.
I feel like if this was like a TV show and like it was cutting between these different bands and we like got introduced to them properly, I would really like it.
Yeah, if we were introduced to the characters and the character did stuff and the characters had characters, you know, all the stuff that characters should have. I think
I
the
feel like
characters in this
all
movie
of the
were a big
ideas
problem.
all the ideas in the movie are amazing. Like the idea of a Sakai, that was really cool. The idea of like all these different bands,
Sakai
all the
Takai?
character designs were
I think it just
It-
means world in Japanese.
maybe. But all that I think was really good. I just felt like the execution on characters and like world building was not very good. But I think I really liked the ideas a lot. So that kind of just brought me into the world, and that's why.
Yeah, it's a Japanese word that translates to world or the universe.
Well, yeah, I know that now.
Mm.
Still. Not a big
Okay,
fan.
so that was Hatsune Miku. Now let's talk about the cringe Jesus movie. He's not Hatsune Miku. He doesn't have blue
Okay.
hair.
I actually really want to hear about this Jesus movie since I didn't get to see it.
Guys,
So, Uri, let me tell you.
largest animated biblical adaptation opening weekend. They advertised that so much,
Yeah.
which is like
So
a fucking sure. You beat Prince of Egypt. The
So, but
only
what
other
really-
show.
And
What
Prince
really
of Egypt is
happens in this
objectively a
show, you
lot
mean?
better.
what really happens in this movie? So, Uri, it's set up like this. Charles Dickens is doing a play recital of A Christmas Carol, but his bitch ass son is being an annoying little prick, and so he needs to be punished. So he takes his King Arthur sword and he sends him home.
But the dad is an asshole. The
I
kid
would argue
is an annoying kid, but the dad
no.
is definitely an asshole.
No. That kid is a terrible kid. There is a difference between kid being annoying and kid who is a bad kid, and he is a bad kid.
That kid is not a bad kid.
Why is he a
He
bad
is.
kid?
He's
Because
annoying
so,
little shit.
Uri, imagine you are putting on a production of something, right? Your life's work. And this little bitch comes on stage and just starts doing shit. Some random kid just walks on stage and is like, I'm King Arthur. Look at me. This is the Excalibur. What would you do? Would you also beat him?
I would beat him.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where we're at right now. Is his kid did that, and Charles Dickens is like, damn, my bitch son. you know what?
Okay.
I'm gonna go home and beat him. And then his wife is like, no, Charles, tell him the story about the greatest king who's ever kinged in all of kings. And he's like, the greatest king of all kings who's ever kinged. And he's like, son, have you ever heard the word of Jesus Christ? So the movie is basically Princess Bride if it was about Jesus.
Yeah, that's a good explanation.
And what does this have to do with Charles Dickens? Is this a story that Charles Dickens wrote? Like
I
about
have no idea, but he's the framing device. He's the framing device of this movie. So Uri, you're familiar with the story of Jesus, right?
No, can you refresh me?
So Jesus was a baby that was born from a person that never had sex. And then he was born in a stable, and then these three wise men showed up with
In
some
the
pretty
manger.
useless in the manger
They
with some pretty
explain what a
useless gifts
manger
for a
is.
baby. And then Mark Hamill's the Joker shows up. And
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
I forgot
"We
about
must
that.
kill every single
took me out of the
baby."
movie because it was just the Joker voice.
No,
was
no, no.
nothing
Because it was
else.
so funny. They said we need to get rid of all the babies because they didn't want to say kill because it's a kids movie.
Yeah. So the Joker.
But they still have him
wants
being
to-
fucking crucified on a cross.
wants,
Because it's a vital
he
part of the
doesn't have-
story.
but Jesus can't have nipples. He can be crucified, but he can't have mammary. Anyway, so then Jesus is born, and he lives in the wherever the fuck he lives, and then he
Egypt.
grows up and turns into Oscar Isaac with poor voice acting, and he's like,
Oh.
"It's me, Jesus. I'm going to get disciples," and so then he gets some disciples, and those are the guys that follow him around. So they follow him around while he does magic tricks, like pointing at fish and saying, "There's fish over there," or
And also killing a bunch of pigs.
and
That
he
one
killed
was
a bunch of
fucking
pigs
crazy.
for some reason. That was really funny.
That was
Or he waves his hand over a blind guy and he can see, or a guy who's paralyzed and he waves his hand. He says, "What's easier, telling him never to walk again, or telling him to pick himself up and leave?" Both, I guess. I don't know. Bro's just saying stuff.
Yeah, I don't really get that either.
So then Jesus shows up again, or Jesus
Oh,
is
I
there.
mean, it's
and
really
then-
it's about the power of faith. You have to believe. You
oh,
can
right.
believe,
It's
and then
you have to
therefore,
believe.
when you
Yeah.
have the faith. Remember when when Peter saw Jesus on the water during the storm, and he went out to walk. He fell because he didn't believe.
He didn't believe.
All you have to do is believe.
Yeah.
Have faith. And you'll
Anyway,
be okay.
the Romans are like, "We gotta kill Jesus," and then Jim Cummings.
Somebody
so
kill
there.
this guy.
And then Jim Cummings of Winnie the Pooh fame, is like, "We gotta kill this Jew," and then they take after Judas gives him away, and Peter's like, "I don't know Jesus. I don't know him. I don't know that guy." And then Jesus gets crucified and he goes like this. But then Oscar Isaac Charles Dickens is Jesus the whole time. He's Jesus the entire time, the whole time, quite frankly. That's the plot of the movie because it's just the Bible.
And then
But-
you return back to modern time with little kid, and he's nice now.
Yeah, and the little kid is like, "Wow, Jesus is the real King of Kings. Oh, my brothers and sisters, listen to this story about Jesus Christ." And then
So he
and
becomes a
then
religious
there's
fanatic.
a post-credit scene, Uri. There's a post-credit scene when the
Jesus
movie
comes
ends
back. Jesus too.
Wait, there-
during the credits.
I missed that.
During-
I had to leave early. There was a post-credit scene.
Yes, there's a post credits.
during the post-credits, during the credits, there's this thing that says "Stay tuned for a surprise," and there's a
It says,
timer
Oh,
that
that
ticks down.
thing.
As that timer
ticks down.
says a message in 5 minutes, and then
And then it
counts
ticks
down.
down, and you say, "What is the message?" And then you want to know what the message is, Uri?
What?
It's a bunch of kids that they paid to say that this is the best movie in the world, and every kid should go see it, and every kid should go watch the Jesus movie because it's the best movie in the world. Almost as if it's like some sort of indoctrination or cult or something like that, which is I don't
Aiden, we
know.
cannot be. The Celsius
Oh.
Pod is not against Christianity or religion here. We're good.
I'm not. But I just
It
felt
is
like
not
that
a
intro was really weird.
donation. It is not a donation. They make it very clear that when you give them money, you get something back in return. You get
Yes.
3 pages of a coloring book,
Right.
a digital poster,
Of course.
and an extra scene from the movie. And
Yes.
I've searched every pirating website I can. I cannot find this scene. So I might have to drop $15, which is the minimum amount I can donate, to get this extra scene of the Jesus movie.
Right.
So I
So
can
the
spread it
mo-
with all of you on our Patreon.
Yeah,
so the movie-
what happened?
And I will
the movie Uri, unsurprisingly, was very bad.
Yeah. How's the
the-
animation?
Terrible. So bad. It
AI
looks
generated.
It looks AI generated, but it was before it was announced before the whole AI good. So I don't think it is, but it definitely looks like it is.
Oh, bad.
And it's bad. And Oscar Isaac as Jesus, really bad voice acting. He did not try. Even though the cast of the movie is stacked. I don't know how they did that. But it's so bad.
I mean, I think you have a thing where you get like, is this was for like a religious studio?
I don't know. I don't
It
remember.
was from-
Pretty sure.
It was a studio called Angel Studios.
Yeah. How? I
Angel
wonder how they
Studios, their
got like
webs-
actual actors to be in this.
I don't know. I don't
They
know.
put
It's
so
incredible.
much money
It's
into
called
this.
money. I don't understand. What do you mean? How did they get actual actors to do this? It's called money.
But like,
You know, seen that clip of Harrison Ford being like how do you do all this crazy stuff when you're the Red Hawk? It's like, that's what the money's for.
Yeah.
Like, these people are probably like, do we realize this? Like,
yeah. But I
Give
don't know.
me
It feels
20
like
million, I
Oscar
can
Isaac
do it.
didn't really try. They got like sort of a. Are there any other good voice performances in the movie or no?
Mark Hamill, Jim Cummings are both because those are actual voice actors.
yeah.
Who else is in this movie? Let me see the cast. Oscar Isaac, Pierce Brosnan, Mark Hamill, Kenneth Branagh, Ben Kingsley, Uma Thurman,
Wow.
Jim Cummings, James Arnold Taylor, D. Bradley Baker,
Jesus
Vanessa Marshall.
Christ! This is so many people.
Yeah, and these are all actual
like-
people that do things.
Yeah. This is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's terrible.
Nikola, Beck, what were your
Yeah.
thoughts on the movie?
Shit, it was a Jesus
Not
movie.
good.
It's about what you'd expect for an animated kids movie.
You loved it, Nicola.
I mean,
you had a great time.
I
It's-
loved it because I was
the
able to
world
just-
building felt a bit weak. Like, the magic system wasn't
My
fully
favorite
explained.
thing to do. I liked the movie because I was able to just turn 24 every single scene just to my right to Aiden Shoemaker and be like, hey, do you know actually how that matches up to the Bible and stuff like that?
See,
I
here's the
basically
thing,
got-
I was
though.
watching
Here's
this
I
the-
basically got
alone.
to explain the entire Bible to Aiden Shoemaker throughout the course of the movie.
Here's the thing. Bible lore is really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
I do think the lore goes really deep, and I'd like to see a show about it, probably.
But
Yeah,
Beck,
Beck,
but
watch The
being religious
Chosen.
not fun. I don't like that.
Beck, watch The Chosen.
They literally are releasing the season 5 in 3 parts in theaters for some reason.
Guys, there are so
Yeah.
many Jesus movies coming out. It's insane.
I know. I saw there were 3 trailers for other ones, and then The Chosen. When I went to buy the tickets, I said the name of a wrong Jesus, and then I was like, "Oh, my bad. I meant this one," because there are so many that I confused.
There's a Martin
them.
Scorsese Jesus movie. There's a Terrence Malick Jesus movie. There's so many Jesus movies coming out. Were you guys the only ones in theaters?
No, there were other people that were for sure there because they like Jesus.
Yeah, no, I had some actual fans.
Definitely, yeah, I agree.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else to say before we end on The Last of Us?
Okay, wait. I don't want to say anyone because we were mentioning the audience. During the Hatsune Miku movie, there was anytime a character would show up, the people in the row behind me would like start talking to each other, being like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't like her in the game." Just like it was so funny because like you could tell they were like fans of the game and they knew all of them. And
Yeah.
also, I did hear people crying at the end of the Hatsune Miku movie, like in the crowd.
I did like the concert at the end, but
yeah.
yeah, talk about The Last of Us. I didn't
Well,
watch that one.
The best
Yeah,
part of the
'cause he-
Miku movie, I think by far, is I was sitting so to my right was like Aiden and everybody else. To my left were these two random guys who was also our age who walked in like right after the movie began, and the entire time they were basically making jokes. Like, you know the scene where they first drop into the isekai and they're all like floating in? The second that happened, they turned to each other and they said, "Oh my god, Fortnite." That's like the one thing I heard them say.
That's
so
really good.
stupid.
But they were basically doing stuff like that the entire film.
That's awesome.
I mean, yeah. I feel like I want them to like make showings being like, this is the showing where you can talk to your friends and make sure other people don't get mad at you.
Yeah, Beck,
Like,
do
I
you want
want
them
more
to
theaters where like you can do stuff like that.
you want the writers to make it so you can talk during your things, like how people on Netflix.
I just want like to be able to like talk to other people in the theater, because like, what's the benefit of being in a theater if you're like, because it's like I can just watch these movies at home alone with no one else in silence. I feel like if I'm going to a theater, I want to like watch it with other people. That's like the whole point.
I guess. That's a fair point, but you got the feeling of being in a theater full of strangers and you're all experiencing this big moment together, like when I watched the Minecraft movie.
Yeah. I wish I had that for the Minecraft movie.
Yeah,
But
I really wish we did.
But The Last of Us season 2, it premiered last week, the first episode, and this week was the second episode. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say really good first two contenders for the season. I'm gonna say I didn't think, like, people are saying it's some of the best. Well, this episode 2 is like the best episode of TV ever. I'm not gonna say that.
That's not true. There's no way it's the best ever, but
It
yeah.
But it's very well
No.
done. It's very good though.
Okay. You can tell they're definitely adding a lot of new stuff, at least from this first two episodes. Because episode 1, 70-80% of it is completely new. The only part we really seen before is the ending dance stuff. And then episode 2,
90% of it's like
no.
I would say
90% of it's like this.
like 90% is
80% is the same.
Jackson.
Yeah, but all the Jackson stuff is new, and they also weirdly they changed around the patrols. I thought that was a really weird change.
Well,
because in the game it is Joel and Tommy together, and then Ellie and Dina together, because we're supposed to build the romance between Ellie and Dina, and we're supposed to have Tommy next to Joel, so he's like more traumatized by the events.
yeah.
So changing that all around feels weird.
I'm going to talk about that, but so these first two episodes, it's 5 years later after the end of the Last of Us Season 1, and they do something really, really smart, where a big gripe that fans had in the game was that Abby just kind of came out of nowhere and killed Joel. Spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
But here we get a little bit more introduction of Abby now, because it's TV.
Here's the thing. I understand 100% why they did that, and why it's kind of stupid that they had no introduction for Abby in the game. But at the same time, in the game, the idea is that like we're in the perspective of Ellie, and it's from Ellie's perspective. She has no idea who Abby is. Abby's just this random person that shows up and kills Joel in front of her.
Yeah, with golf.
And then we learn who she is over time.
Yeah.
So I
But
can definitely see why they changed it for television, but I also think it just didn't work that well because they did so early in the game.
Yeah, and
Stuff like
with
that.
a TV audience is a much different audience than a video game audience, so they really have to adapt the change to the TV audience, where the TV audience really wants to get in the emotional perspective. So we do get emotionally endeared to Abby before she kills Joel, because we get the scene at she at the graves of the fireflies, and we're at the scene which has a dream.
Sorry.
You know?
Saying grave of the fireflies.
I understand that, but is it not?
It is. It's just really funny.
But and then we get the dream of her dreaming with her dad. And what's really cool is that in this version of in episode 2, she tells Joel about he killed her dad, which is in the game. Joel doesn't get that. He doesn't get to know that he killed her dad. He kind of just dies.
I personally feel they mentioned it, but she monologued way too long. And given
Yeah.
like her whole backstory,
Exactly.
I feel like it made a lot more
They
sense
monologued
when we like slowly learned it after the time.
Yeah.
Like
That dialogue when she was gonna kill Joel was just way too long. Like,
That's fair.
yeah,
it was just too long.
he gave her
in
a
my
whole
opinion.
fucking life
It was, like,
story. That was not.
I understand why
necessary.
you're monologuing, but like I gotta agree with Joel. Just shut the fuck up and do it.
Yeah, but he does. But let's just talk. So the first episode's 5 years after we get introduced. There's definitely something brewing between Ellie and Joel. Like there's like definitely flashbacks we're gonna get later, which happens in the game as well. There's like tension between the two. They introduced this plot line where he's going to therapy and he killed his therapist's husband, which is something they're totally gonna bring. They're gonna figure out like the Eugene character. They keep bringing him up. He's gonna have a flashback with Eugene. That's totally happening in some episode.
They show in episode 2, Eugene was a Firefly, so we can definitely see it might have been like a situation where he figured out what Joel did, and he like
killed him.
wanted to get revenge.
And Joel might have lied to people saying he was infected.
Yeah.
That could they're definitely doing something with that. I like Catherine O'Hara. I thought the therapist was kind of interesting. It kind of making Joel more reflective on his sort of identity, which is kind of interesting. Which is like I think something's like in the game you don't get that, so it's like kind of feels random. But why he I guess would try to be connecting more with Ellie, but this provides a sort of reflection point, and I thought that was cool. I really hope we see more of her in the show. What else? And then we're getting introduced to the new characters like Jesse, Dina. There's like they do the scenes like it's pretty chronological for the first episode, like really kind of tight. Like
we get a lot stronger of like a characterization and the setup of the relationship between Ellie and Dina, and I thought that was good because I feel like we only really got like the smoking weed scene in the second game to like really connect them, but here we have like the whole like episode to get us to care about the relationship.
And so, guys, this is where I bring the point of this has been sort of a divisive issue. Bella Ramsey as Ellie. Now, in the first season, she did a really, really good job. I think as Ellie, people still didn't like her since she didn't look the part, but I thought she felt the part. But season 2 required
This
a more
season,
jacked Ellie.
So many people are like being like this. I feel like it's just like it's the same thing we saw in Invincible with everybody shitting on the animation, where people have just turned it into a trend to shit on whatever, to shit on like one point.
It's the same thing with the fucking boys and like the actor for Starlight. They just like some one point pointed out, and then everyone just fucking dunked on her for like 8 times longer than when
some people agree on it, and then it starts to get so dunked on to the point where it's not even that it's a problem. It's just that people are doing it because it's a trend.
Yeah. And like I feel like it's really unfair for Bella Ramsey to be treated like that. Because like it doesn't have to be, you don't have to look the exact same as the game. I think you can have an adaptation. I understand maybe more for Abby makes sense since you want her to be buff, more intimidating. But I think for Ellie, it's fine. Because I really like Bella's performance. Especially when they do that sort of like scream when sort of like when Joel dies, and like she says just the whimpering. I love that. That was really good.
Yeah, I watched. I did this with both the dance scene and with the Joel death scene. Was once I like watched the scene in the show, I went and I rewatched the game scene. And I feel like the dance scene, it was adapted basically 1-to-1, but I feel like
pushes him harder in the show.
But for like the Joel like death scene, I feel like the lighting wasn't as good, and I don't know, it felt a bit weaker to me.
Yeah,
but I still think they
that's-
did it good.
I
And
think they did a
It
fair
is
way.
so much more noticeable, like how weak Abby is in this version compared to the game. That's something. I feel like there's a lot like of a problem where it's like in the game you can like very finely tune these characters to what you want, but like in live action you like
Yeah,
you can't really age Bella. You can't make Bella Ramsey look like 5 years older just like that.
Which is why some people suggested do a recast, but I feel like that would be way too weird.
I feel like they should have done a recast.
I don't know. I feel
I-
like
I
that's
don't-
really weird. Like it'll feel really different since they are like already kind of an adult at the end of season. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. I guess that's a fair point, but we're just gonna have to stick with it for now. I think people are being a little too hard. There's like I think obviously the bombing on Rotten Tomatoes, that's terrible. That's not just because people don't like the second game. I think
Yeah,
that's
no.
the only reason why.
What I've just started doing was I saw all like the discourse around this, and then I went back and I started just watching like all of the Last of Us 2 videos back from like 2020 of everyone just hating on the game and just being like, wow, history is repeating itself. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But my parents,
Yeah.
like they knew nothing about the game. They knew nothing about Joel dying. They were completely shocked.
My parents were watching it too, and they were shocked.
Yeah, because it is an insane twist, and especially like to not have it spoiled for you. That is a crazy thing to happen.
Because it
I
just
need
feels
to tell my dad that season 2 is airing. He really likes season 1 and stuff. So him
Yeah.
saying,
'Cause
like when we
honestly-
asked him like, hey, what are your like favorite shows? He'd say The Last of Us. So
Yeah, because obviously the parents aren't gamers, so they don't know anything about this world. So, but we all know that Joel's death is coming, and so it feels very inevitable.
Yeah.
But for someone who hasn't seen it, that must be such a shocking fucking thing. Like it'll be like Ned
and it
Stark
did already
dying.
happen in episode 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
episode 2 they do it already, which I thought was like
I mean, that
pretty
kind of makes
fair.
sense. I mean, they're doing it off of the game again. I mean, season 1 was game 1. I'm pretty sure they did say that that's the game.
It's
2
gonna
is
be in
gonna
2
split
seasons.
between season
It's
2
a
and
longer
season 3.
game by far.
Yeah, it's a lot longer.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
I do think it would have been better for Tommy to do this, to be with Joel when he dies. But I really liked his attack on Jackson. I loved the attack. Oh, that was
I
like
thought that was
a Game of Thrones level fight.
It was. Yeah. I watched the episode with one of my friends who has also played the game, and it was like we just like kept looking at each other being like, when is it gonna happen? Like, and it's like seeing like all the things being like, no, why would you say Joel? Why would you say Joel? And then the funniest part of the entire episode to me was we're like focusing on Abby's face. Camera slowly turns, and we focus on the golf bag, and Abby turns and
Yeah.
looks at it, and then cut. It's like they fucking knew.
When they panned to the fucking golf clubs was the funniest shit ever, because like they're putting so much emphasis on the fact that there was just a bag of golf clubs sitting in the background.
Yeah, no, it was amazing.
they don't bring up the golf club like at all in the game. She just like randomly has it, but this one they know the golf club was such a big thing in the game. They have to make it a golf club again.
Yeah, and something I think why they did put Dina there is so that she could identify the WLF thing for next episode. So we have that. I think that was the reason why, and I think they also did this thing where it's like, because if he didn't want to need help Dina, to go to the lodge because she was very cold, then he would have just back to Jackson. You know, it was his reason to go to help Dina is why he went to the cabin. And I see that's a very fair point. I would have been more better if it was Tommy to make it more brutal, but I think it's fair. But I'm gonna be honest, I think people are kind of overhating the season, and I think it's gonna be a really good season. I'm gonna be honest.
It is gonna. I have no doubt it's gonna be a good season. The people like hating on it is just the same reason they were hating on the game. They don't. They are angry like
That
that
Joel
Abby
dies.
killed him.
Yeah.
But it's still amazingly well written.
And I feel like they know what the mistakes were in Last of Us the game, because I think the game was like, very detrimental. The fact that the way they ordered type of things were very strange. But now we have a television show where you can cut back between characters, not have a huge block of character at this point, and then another block of character. You can cut between characters, which is the perfect medium of a television show, you know? And so it will give some breathing room. And I think they'll, because I'm going to be honest, I actually enjoy the story beats of the Last of Us 2 game. I don't mind that he dies at all, you know?
Yeah, I think I really like it. And my mom was like telling me, literally like when she was telling me, she's like, yeah, no, I really wish that like Abby was about to kill Joel, but then Joel like convinces her not to do it, and then she doesn't do the revenge. I'm like, you're really gonna like in 2 seasons when Ellie does that exact thing.
Yeah. But the thing is,
I do like the ending where like after all that shit, she's just like,
it ends the cycle of violence, you know?
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's a good ender for the game, but I feel like for a character like Joel, who's a fucking like war criminal, who would do the exact same thing Abby would do to him if he was in her spot, it just makes sense.
That's kind of why you can see Joel accepts it as soon as he hears.
Like the little nod he does when she tells him the things you don't do, and he does a little nod that Pedro Pascal does so well. Like he accepts that, you know?
Yeah, he knows he's going to hell.
Yeah. And so
that's what makes the writing of the game and of the games and the show. I mean, the show is basically just copying the game, but still, that's what makes the writing so good. Is because none of the characters are just black and white. All of the characters are gray.
Yeah, and we're really going to see. I'm excited to see how Bella Ramsey does this sort of like journey for Ellie that they did in the games. I wonder how they're going to
training montage in episode 3, and in episode 4 they come back and all of the characters are just jacked.
I enjoyed the actors for Dina and Jesse. I really liked them. I thought they were
doing
fun.
really good.
Yeah. Tommy, I wonder, because I kind of forget, because like I know it's a bigger game, but I kind of forget all the big plot points in the game, other than like the ending, and I know what her like points are. I know it's a longer game than the first one.
Yeah,
it's a lot longer.
I mean,
I never actually.
To be honest, like
I'm gonna finish
them going to Seattle. Not a lot happens. Like. I don't know, like, for episode 3, like, in the beginning part of the game, they're just fucking around in Seattle for, like, 3 hours.
I honestly might
how are you gonna, like, adapt
both
that?
games. Because it's been so long since I've played both games, I honestly might replay them and see exactly how they compare with the show.
They're both finally on PC, so I definitely want to...
If you get them to the Steam family, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm going to just play it on my PS5.
But you know, I think they're also the fact that now that they have like more breathing room, they have the ability for the show to do their own storylines, you know, their own kind of character moments and like build upon the game, which is cool. Yeah. So I'm excited. Episode 3, this is I'm glad we've had such good television lately, like Severance, The White Lotus, Invincible, like Last of Us. We're getting a lot of like good weekly television, you know.
It is great.
Well, this is a Celsius podcast. I recommend that you watch the Goofy movie too.
Yeah, you should probably also watch it.
Yeah. Always use Celsius.
Always use Celsius, and remember to pre-order your Switch too. It goes live in 2 minutes. It goes live
for us in 2 minutes, so
I'm panicking. I'm panicking.